All right, hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Friday. It was a rough week. We made it though. We got past it. We're in Friday now. We're into the weekend. Things should be good here. So I apologize for the late live stream. Started going down the rabbit hole for Clawbot, or well, it used to be called Clawbot, and now it was called something else. Now it's called OpenClaw. Started playing around with that on my little Mac Mini Studio. That is kind of interesting stuff. What's happening there with that project and what you can actually do with it. AGI might be here already. I just started playing with it today. I see none of you have, at least in the poll that I did here, none of you have done it yet, which it is kind of technical. I will give you guys that. But nonetheless, Bitcoin was up today. Miners were up today as well. Markets were up today. Everything looked pretty good today overall. We still obviously didn't have a great week overall, but it was a good day nonetheless. We had a nice little bounce day. So we'll get into that. We also have information at Hive. They got a deal for their Canada site. We'll talk about that. And then there's obviously some still good news for Bitcoin possibly here. Maybe we have bottomed out, maybe not. We'll see, right? We'll get into all that, and we'll try to keep it relatively short tonight. All right, as always, full disclosure below that. You guys know this. If you would be so kind and hit the like button and subscribe would help me out. And let's take a look at what's going on here with, why does this keep going back to that one? All right, here we go. This is where I wanted to go here. Not this one. Where did it go? There it is. All right, hold on. I got to fix some stuff here. So let's go to Q&A here really quick. I got to fix my windows around. They're not in order that I like them in. Okay, we're back. All right, Bitcoin. Nice little bounce today, right? It was up 3.93%. We were up almost 4% at one point. We came back down a little bit. Not too bad, though. We closed at 68,112 there. We got above 69,000 at one point, but we did come back down a little bit here. So we kind of maybe broke this little 5-day or 4-day losing streak on Bitcoin here ever since the week started for us. So that was nice to see there. Obviously, the markets were up as well. Dow Jones was up. NASDAQ was actually down, but S&P was up and Russell was up also 1.32%. And that kind of followed Bitcoin today as well. Ethereum today was also up, second day. Now it was up 5.21%, so that one bounced nicely here. Miners had a pretty good day overall. We had Bitfarms being up 3.38%. BitTier was the only one that was down 2.8%. I think this is a continuation after their earnings release that came out on yesterday. We talked about that obviously yesterday. Kanga was up nicely, 9.81%. This thing hasn't been this low in a long, long time. I mean, this is going all the way back to 2024 October, so basically last year, or almost a year and a half now. On this one, it's definitely been beaten down here. Cypher was up a little bit, 1.99% there. Cleanspark was up 5.8%. O was up like almost 10% at one point during the day, then it came back down. So were a lot of these guys here. CORZ finished out the day at 206. Hive was up 327. Hut 8 was up 569. IREN was up 547. Mara was up 924. Riot was up 718. And Wolf was up 220 there. It got pretty close to its previous high here. Not too far off. Like I said, a lot of these guys were up almost like 10% at one point, and they pulled back down here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin treasury companies here. MicroStrategy was up 8.85. Galaxy was up 7.59 there. Block was up a little bit, 1.45. Coin was up huge though, 16.46. Even after having not great earnings release yesterday, everything was in the red on that one. So that was a little surprising that one bounced there. Meta Planet, sorry, was down 3.56. Exodus was up nicely, 10.6%. This is Nexon. Nexon crashed here quite a bit, down 16.19%. I'm guessing after their earnings release here. Yeah, okay, that one was down way a bit. Phoenix was up 18.77% there. Game was up 0.21%. Small miners were up for the most part. Good performance here was by Argo and by Mawson there. Canon was down actually a little bit. Bitcoin mining ETFs were in the green here, 4%, 5%, 3% to end it all. Ethereum trading companies were up also. BMNR was up 6.18%. Digital was up 3.53. BTCS was up nicely, 9.93. And Game was up 8.79. And SBIT was up 4.74. Other companies here did okay as well. American Bitcoin was down 1.74%. Wi-Fi was up 6.76. Open was up 1.48. Oracle was even up 2.34. Nibius, nice day there. Nice 2 days here after their earnings release here that came out yesterday. So that one's up nicely. Soluna, Bakkt was even up 7.06. ASST was up 8.18 there. A little bounce on that one. Kind of nice bounce. Fermi was up also nicely, 11.12, sorry. And then Meta, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Nvidia were all down today. Tesla was up a little bit, 0.09%. EOS being up 287 and New AI being up 696 there. So overall, not too bad. We'll take it, right? Anytime I can get a green day on these things, it's great to see. And then as far as Bitcoin here for the month of February, we're up only 12.44%. We took back some of those losses from yesterday or from this prior week, but we're still way, way low from where we really should be here historically on this one. Bitcoin ETF inflows, outflows. We had inflows outflows yesterday of 410 million. Everything being said and done here today, we're up a little bit, 24.5 million without BlackRock reporting IBIT there. So we'll see how that one continues to do going forward here. Now onto the news stories that we do have here. First one is obviously the CPI data came out today as well. We came in at 2.4. Expectations were 2.5. This is obviously bullish there. So that is a good sign, right? We're seeing inflation come down, which is nice. And we're also seeing, jobs reports came in better than we thought. So we might be looking to maybe lower some rates here later on this year if this continues, right? If this trend continues, things will definitely look really, well, they should look better for us. Next here, we got Brazil just reintroduced a bill to acquire 1 million Bitcoin as national strategic reserve. That's not 1,000, not 10,000, 1 million BTC. Basically, roughly 69 billion at today's prices. The nation-state Bitcoin race is accelerating here. We'll see if it gets through. This is, I think, the second attempt that they're trying to do this. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously still people that are bullish on Bitcoin, and it's not surprising, to be honest with you guys. I think there's going to be definitely more coming down the pipe, especially when we get the Clarity Act passed and enacted into law. Once that gets all ironed out, that should be also a good sign for us there. So some good news there. This also, President Trump's Truth Social files for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs with the SEC. So they're trying to get into it as well. Maybe things came down because they want to get in on the game here. Maybe, right? They're trying to get into that as well. So they're obviously still bullish on it, which is good. And then we got this White House advisor, Patrick Witt, says trillions of dollars are waiting to enter the crypto market, right? This is based on the Clarity Act. If that does pass, then that could be a possibility there. We'll see if that's actually the case, right? When it does pass, we'll see if we have nice inflows at that point or not. But this would be great if it is true. Next year, Citibank predicts Bitcoin will reach still 189,000 in 2026. So that's still a good sign. That'd be like, what would that be? That'd be almost a 3x from where we are right now. I'll take it. Anytime we see Bitcoin going up, that would be great news for us here. And last good news here is, this is actually really good here. So this is from Isabel. She writes, thrilled to see the announcement on Bitcoin Magazine. Full article in the comments here. Bitcoin advances towards quantum resistance with BIP 360 and new P2MR output. So they are working, obviously, towards quantum resistance. Because there was quite a bit of FUD of, with quantum computing, I wouldn't say gaining market share, but it's just, I would say gaining prominence more so as time progresses. The fear was that Bitcoin would get, obviously, the algorithm there would get broken, the security algorithm would get broken, but they are working to obviously combat that. The bigger concern with quantum is all of our bank accounts, all of our credit card accounts, all of those things could be broken just as easily, if not faster, than the Bitcoin network itself. So there's other issues that we need to also kind of address going forward if quantum computing does take off. All right, so there's that. So that's actually good news there. And lastly, we got Hive here. Hive provided us with a little update here. So they signed a 30 million AI cloud contracts, accelerating global HPC Tier 3 data center expansion, which is great there. It's obviously on the smaller side of things, but still a nice contract for them. So today they announced a major step forward in its AI cloud strategy, signing customer agreements representing approximately 30 million in total contract value over 2-year fixed terms, subject to performance obligations and deployment milestones, all amounts in US dollars unless otherwise indicated there. The new contracts underpin the initial phase of Buzz's AI optimized GPU deployment at its Canada West location in Manitoba, with compute capacity expected to come online during the quarter ending in March 31st, so obviously this first quarter here. This first phase consists of 504 liquid-cooled Dell server-based GPUs, purpose-built for high-performance AI and HPC workloads, so that's nice. And then based on executed contracts, current pricing and deployment schedules, management expects this initial phase to generate approximately $15 million in annual recurring revenue to Buzz's cloud business once fully operational. Upon full deployment, management expects total annualized revenue attributable to Hive's HPC segment driven by Buzz to grow from approximately 20 million currently to roughly 35 million, reflecting strong contract demand for Buzz AI cloud platform. So that's actually pretty good. On the smaller side, but still really good for what they have. To support this growth, the company expects to incur capital expenditures related to GPU acquisition, supporting electrical and cooling infrastructure and working capital requirements. Operating expenses are expected to include power, hosting, maintenance, staffing, and network costs. Buzz continues to expand capacity at its Canada West site in alignment with executed customer agreements. So that's great there. A little bit of commentary here. This is from their president and chief executive officer of Hive, Aidan Kylik. Our vision is to scale our HPC GPU AI cloud business towards approximately 140 million in annual run rate over the next year. Subject to market conditions and successful infrastructure deployment, as we execute this growth, we will be supported by continued investment in infrastructure and operations. In our previous earnings webcast, we outlined a target deployment of 2,000 AI-optimized GPUs at our Canada West facility this year. The initial 504 GPU deployment is already backed by executed customer agreements, representing approximately 30 million in total contract value over 2 years, subject to performance obligations and deployment milestones. So that's great. Right, if they could get to 140 million annual run rate, that would be great for them. It'd be definitely substantial for Hive. And then if they can build on top of that, go on even further, this is really good. Right, smaller side of things, we're not seeing the billion-dollar contracts like we've seen with IREN, Cypher, TeraWolf, all those guys, but those are much longer-term contracts, also for a lot more megawatts, right? And so this is a really good first step here for Hive. So congrats to the team there on getting this stuff signed and sealed there. So great news on that. And that's basically all I got for you guys. Kind of slow day as far as news is concerned. It's been kind of slow. Oh, hasn't been too slow. Bitcoin's been going down. We've gotten some reports, obviously, on quarterly results and things like that over the past week. But overall, it was pretty slow here. So I'm just going to go into Q&A here. And I don't see that many Q&A here. So we're going to probably call it a day. But again, I would highly recommend you guys to look into OpenClaw. I know it's a little technical there, but you're going to have to, I think, not only for personal reasons, but maybe for work-related reasons, you're going to have to probably stay up on top of this stuff because the AI space is changing fast. And if you don't want to become extinct, become a dinosaur in the workplace, you're going to have to spend some time, learn new technologies as well. And I think OpenClaw is one of those new technologies that's definitely, it's taken off like a bandit right now by the community, by people doing things on it. It's just crazy. It's nuts. But I won't get into it too much because that gets a little too technical there, and I might lose some of you. Maybe not. Maybe some of you guys are more technical than I am even. But yeah, let's get into Q&A here, and we'll call it a day. All right, let's see what we got. Steve says, happy for Hive owners. Absolutely, that's great. Neil says to the moon there. Neil says, my Mara did good today. It did do well today. Sheath, what does a bear market look like for Bitcoin? Well, if we have a bear market, we've been kind of in a bear market ever since like October of last year. But Bitcoin's been coming down here. Typical bear market, if we look at prior cycles, we would be down like 70, 80% max there. That would be like a typical bear market. This time around, the 50% drawdown that we've seen here might be it. We're not sure yet. Time will tell if this was the bottom on it at 60-some thousand at the low end. Right, there might be definitely, there's always a chance for us to go lower, but I think we might have bottomed out. I think. Time will tell, though. But if we haven't bottomed out, then we could be going down to like the 50s and maybe, I would say maybe mid-40s, where we could possibly find the true bottom there at that point, if it is in the bottom here. All right, Rob says, any chance of viewing this the short video clip tonight? Let me pull that up. I said I was going to do that for you. Let me pull that up. Let me see. And we can do that here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see here. Open up my email account. Let me go there. And let me go into my YouTube account. And let's see here. Where's it at? Got that one, Discord. All right, Ethereum. Tips on how to trade it. That's, I think, the one that you sent me. Let me see. Is that the only one? Yeah. Let me see if I can open this up here on this one. I can't log into it. I would have to log into Facebook, which I don't have a Facebook account. I would have to use my wife's account. So I can't do it here. I'll try to pull it up maybe on Sunday's show. Maybe. If I can pull it, if I can download it. If I can download it and pull it into my regular thing, I'll do it then. But I can't. I don't have Facebook. I did it on my wife's account when I originally saw it. So I can't do it here. Sorry. All right, let's go back. See what else we got here. Rob says, awesome, thanks. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't pull it up without having Facebook. I'll see if I can download it. If I can download it, then I'll pull it up on Sunday. Let me make a note of that, because I will forget otherwise, because I got too much stuff in my head rolling around. All right, Rob, we'll pull that in. And that's all I got for you guys as far as today. Yeah, I kind of figured there weren't going to be too many of you. It's Friday night. You guys are out partying, which is great. My wife is out with her friends. They're celebrating Valentine's Day, pre-day Valentine's Day, with her friends out tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to be going for Valentine's Day. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So take your wives out or take your husbands out for Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. And I got to write this down. Rob video, Ethereum. I got to download it. Ethereum. All right. That's it. Let's call it a weekend. Hope you guys have a great one. I'm going to try to have a nice weekend too. Take my wife out to dinner tomorrow. Spend time with the kiddos on Sunday and get back to the swing of things as always. So thank you so much for coming in. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday.